What's up, everybody? This is Information Man. Peace to you. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing, or I'm going to let the video speak for itself, but I'm going to show some video footage of everything that we already knew, everything that the FBI said in 2006, how these militia and white supremacist groups have infiltrated policing in this country. And we understand the video that I'm going to show you will basically break it down as to why you see black men getting shot by cops unarmed, mistreated, all the things that we already know that's been happening. But I think this video that I'm going to show you this evening, this night, this morning, wherever you are in the world, will add a little bit more to the plate of what we already know and the system that backs it up. Now, policing in this country traditionally is something that comes out of slave patrols. It is a system that was designed primarily to pick with and to surveil and to oppress black people in this country we call America. It was never designed for white folks in mind. It was designed for us. You have the school to prison pipeline in which they do everything they can to dehumanize and to define young black males as hyperactive and throw them in special ed classes for the goal of getting them right to the pipeline of the prison industrial complex system, and policing has been a part of that. Then you have what we call a well-organized militia, which were designed primarily, if I know my history properly, because it was due to foreign invaders, and when this country was in a battle with Great Britain, the Great Bank of Great Britain, that put pressure on them. As you hear, the no representation with proper taxation without representation is dead, right? It's not freedom. And so as a result of that, what you have primarily is a system that has flipped on itself, in which you have militias that were supposed to be about protecting the country from outside invaders. But you have in this country, they oftentimes say that black men are the enemy. They characterize us in a negative way. But truly, in my opinion, no one in this system is looking at the white male and the anger of the white male who feels that his rights are being taken away from him, that he needs to have a gun, that he thinks that guns are going to be taken away from him, that they have to form militias because they think that there's going to be tyranny against them, when the only group of men and women and children in this country who have had pure tyranny and rights taken away from us are black people, African-American people, ADOS people, foundational black people, people from the Caribbean, and people, brothers and sisters that come over from the continent. When they come here, they may come here with their tribal connections. They may come here with their connections to the Caribbean. But when they come to America, they're going to be treated just like ADOS people, because they're going to see you as just another you-know-what in. And then the police will bully you, pick with you, create a situation to have an excuse to shoot you down. And so when black people form together our own militias, or form our own organizations like the Black Panther Party that was formed in Oakland, California, when we come together simply because we're the ones that are truly being oppressed. And you got these white militia groups that come together. Ain't nobody suppressing them, but they're able to get away with their guns, carry their guns in open state, no problem. Now, you had two incidents in which you had Kenneth Walker, who was defending himself, protecting his girlfriend, Breonna Taylor, because he thought intruders were coming into the household, because the police had a no-knock warrant. They banged into the door, and he was defending himself, and then they tried to throw that brother under the bus because he had a gun protecting himself. But however, he had a licensed gun to protect himself. He had every right. Then you have Orlando Castile, who was stopped by police in an open carry state in Minnesota, where he told the police officer, "Sir, can I reach for my wallet? And I also have a license to carry gun." That young man got shot dead. Then let's not forget Walter Scott, who was shot in the back in South Carolina running away from the police. And then let's not forget Jacob Blake that was shot in the back, 7 times going to the car, even though there was some drama. And let's not forget Casey Goodson, who by all accounts, he was driving home after going to the dentist, picking up a few sandwiches for his family. The police claim he had a gun. Come to find out, the man had sandwiches on the ground when they shot him in the back, and he had a key in the door. And he did have a gun, which he had the right to carry in an open carry state, and he had it licensed, but he had sandwiches in his hand, and the police killed him. They shot him. So now you have police that are doing destructive things against us, and then you have these militia groups that work in unison with the police because they are that protective structure which maintain this power structure that they have to oppress us. You have Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, a lot of people slept on that. Kyle Rittenhouse, this white boy, was able to break across state lines, come from out of another state into another place in Kenosha, and he shot, by all accounts, 3 people. And he was able to walk right on through the area. The police never stopped him in the beginning. Matter of fact, there was footage where the police were thanking him and his friends and saying, "Thank you, guys." And the police even had the audacity to give this militia group that he was a part of water, H2O, to quench their thirst. So there's a partnership. There's an understanding. There's been reports that you have officers who are wearing the 3%. You see that 3% logo, ladies and gentlemen. That is a white supremacist symbolism. So the police have been collaborating with these groups because they're one in the same. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right at it. This is the Information Man Show. I thank you all for being here, and let's get right at it.
Information is power. Information is power. Tell the truth. Information is power.
Right on, right on. What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man Speaks podcast. Thank you for showing up tonight. I know it's this has been a New Year's weekend holiday for everybody. I want to say again, Happy New Year's to everybody. It's 2021. I'm hoping that everybody has a better year than we've had in 2020. However, we still got some of the turds and negative things that came from 2020 into 21, which is this virus that we've been dealing with. Whether you believe it's real or not, it's still impacting some of our lives. So with that said, everybody, peace to you in the chat room. Let me know if my sound is coming through clear. I see a lot of wonderful people in the house. I think we've got Enemy Nation. Peace to you, brother. Thank you. I got your email, brother. I will be in contact with you very soon. Thank you for coming over. We got my man Maurice in the house. Peace to you. We got Crip Films. We've got Brittany Dunn. We got Golden God is in the house. God's chosen vessel. I love that, sister. God's chosen vessel given. Thank you for coming over, dear sister. Bless you. No doubt. Bless you, my sister. Everybody check her out. She's a very spiritual woman, a powerful woman, positive, vibrating energy that comes out of her show and what she does over there. Very spiritual woman, and I have a lot of respect for her. And I want to thank her for coming on over. So check her out. I want to say peace to Purple Paisley. This is a sister who's been singing my praises on her program, and I want to say thank you. Now, if my sound is coming out fine, because you all know I'm very paranoid about sound, put a 1 or a yes in the chat room if you can hear me, and if there's no weird distortions in the sound, because if there is, I want to see what I can do to fix that problem right away. So we got Jay Dunn, who's coming to the house. Good to see you. She says, Information Man in chat, Happy New Year's to you, Jay Dunn. I want nothing but peace and prosperity for everybody. We got Hudson in the house. We got my man, Mr. Male Advice DIY. Now, he's got an interesting thing going on in his channel because he's got his channel running 24 hours. I got to figure out how he does that. I got to figure out if I could even do 24-hour content. I got to figure something else. I'm contemplating whether to do membership or not, because I know membership is going to require me to crank out additional material. So I got to figure that out within my busy schedule. But I thank you all for being here. Check that brother out. And then we got my man Raymond Forever, who's come in the house. I'm a big supporter of his channel. The brother is a real deal brother. I think he's out of Florida. He says it like it is. He has a real deal channel. He does mukbangs, I think, where he eats different types of foods and gives you his review on some of these foods. So check that brother out. He's real. He's 100%, and he's a hardworking brother. He's always working this job and that job because he's taking care of family. Okay, so thank you. We got Miss Latoya. We got Latoya. We got Thompson. Latoya Thompson is in the house. Marlo's music channel has come on in, and I appreciate you all coming on in. Now, I know I always say this quite a bit, that, hey, I'm not going to keep you up late 3 and 4 and 5 hours doing a stream. And this time I really mean it when I say that, because I'm going to show you a video, which is going to be about an 8-hour video. I'm only going to stop it every now and then to give my commentary on it, to correct the BS that, they're going to say. In this world, when it comes to mass media, they don't want to say what needs to really be said. But over here on YouTube and in this atmosphere of YouTube and what I do, and many other people on YouTube who do this type of material like me, we're going to tell it like it is.
Tell the truth.
You're going to get truth, and you're going to get a truthful analysis of these current issues that are happening in the world this place we call America. So I just want to be honest with you all about that you're going to get this truth over here always when you come over to the Information Man show. And if you have not already, check out the second channel, the Information Man Speaks podcast. I just did a video talking about the movie Soul. Now I had to give an analysis about it, because there's some issues with that animated movie, but go over there and check it out if you can. Support that channel. I will be, if you notice, I'm dropping or uploading videos over there more frequently than I am over here, because that's a channel that I'm trying to build in a different direction and keep the content coming and going over there. So we got God's chosen vessel, Gwen, who says, appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you, dear sister. We got Morales is in the house. Roberto Morales is in the house. He puts a 1. We got my main man who knows me from over in O'Shea Duke Jackson's camp, and that is my man, Marcus Love. I got nothing but love for Marcus Love. Peace to that brother, so greet him. And I just got a reward today, because today, you know, you've all heard of the manosphere and what have you. They have these rewards where they recognize different brothers, whether you're technically a part of the manosphere or you know, they see me as a pro-black or a B1. Look, I'm just who I am, a brother who's trying to put that knowledge out there. But I got to give them a lot of respect, because today they had a reward show for 2020, and I just got rewarded one of the top brothers within this this YouTube, Black YouTube, within what we've got going on over here within YouTube. And it's always great when you're given a reward by those of your own kind who support you. So I got nominated and I won that reward. I think they gave me the category of the pro-black, or you know what I just was saying, and I appreciate that. What I would say is that I'm just, once again, I'm a brother that believe in speaking truth, bringing up issues to wake up minds. And you're going to see more of content that's going to make you think, that's going to make you think critically. We got to think critically in the world that we live in. So I want to appreciate Brother O'Shea Duke Jackson and the Black Manosphere, the Manosphere, who rewarded me, who recognized what I'm doing over here. It's always great to be recognized within these YouTube streets, and I appreciate the brothers. So I have to give a clap to O'Shea Duke Jackson and all the brothers in the Manosphere who recognize me for this beautiful acknowledgement and reward, and I thank you, brother. So here comes the clap. Yes.
Tell the truth.
Yes. I appreciate that. So let me go right ahead. What I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna make this a long stream and hold you all up, but I want to get to the point, and I will recognize. I see there's a lot of people coming in that I recognize. We got Sunny Boxing Talk, Marcus Love, as I said before. We got True Essence, who came in the house. Peace to you, True Essence. We got SF Rose. Peace to SF Rose and brother TR. I really appreciate TR and SF Rose. TR is an incredible musician. He has an incredible channel, and he's my Caribbean brother. I think he lives in New Jersey, but the brother has his roots and his birth roots coming out of Jamaica. He's a fantastic brother. I know he used to do, I don't know if they're doing growth streams anymore or not, but they do concerts. And brother TR, he has a lot of connections to a lot of incredible, what I would call brothers in the Caribbean or in Jamaica that are reggae performers, and he has a connection to a lot of these folks, and they come on his show, and he does a simulcast where he broadcasts their live concerts right into his channel. It's fantastic. I love what him and SF Rose are doing over there on the channel. And we got Xavier, brother Xavier, who came in the house earlier to support the channel. And let me get right into it. And music, brother Marlo Music Channel, make sure you check him out too as well. He's a good brother. He's been a big supporter of mine. Check out his channel, subscribe. Do me the biggest favor too, everybody. Take some paper or pen, whatever you have at home. Write some of these people's names down, and then take the time to go back into the search engine of YouTube and discover their channel and subscribe to them. Give them some support, because the way you grow on YouTube is that you gotta network. You have to collaborate with people, get on panels when people have panels, let people know who you are in order to grow your channel. And you definitely need to maximize social media to bring traffic to your channel as well. But the best advertisement is yourself when you collaborate with different people. And don't be afraid to step out of your area of YouTube that you're in, and to get to know people in other sectors of YouTube, because it's a very vast family of people that are in YouTube. So let me go ahead and put this up on the screen. So let me just say this. How many of you, let's do a vote in the chat room right now. How many of you remember in 2006 that the FBI came out with a document report saying that you have a lot of hate groups, white supremacist groups that have infiltrated the policing institutions of this country? It was the FBI that brought this out. Now, I'm going to put an article on the screen, so I hope you all will be able to see that. Now, this is from The Garden. I'm going to go into a few articles. I'm just going to show you the headline so that you can do the research yourself as well before I go into the video that I want to break down tonight. So right here in The Garden, this is a article that you can find on the web. It says, United States policing, white supremacists and militia have infiltrated the police across the United States, reports say. Okay, this is out of The Garden. Everything and anything that I put on the screen that I show you, you will be able to recreate this by looking at the article, the titles. You can go back at my video and look at what I'm putting on the screen, and you can find all this data yourself. So that's an article that came out a few years ago. Well, actually, this article came out this year, 2020. So this is that article right there is current. Here's another article I want to put on the screen here for you. And there you have another one. This is by PBS NewsHour. And PBS NewsHour does a really great job with their commentary and their investigative reporting. And on here it says the FBI warns of white supremacists in law enforcement 10 years ago. Has anything changed? And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, nothing has changed.
Tell the truth.
Nothing has changed. It's getting worse and worse, and it's growing and it's growing. Because the question I have to ask everyone in the chat room, put a 1 in the channel if you have heard of the FBI report, if you are familiar with what I'm talking about. This is getting really bad, because the question you must ask is, why is it that they've been able to be infiltrated in this manner? Why has the police forces in this country been able to be infiltrated as that way? What is their screening system? Shouldn't they have a screening profile? And then we know, looking at what happened in Ferguson with Mike Brown, hands up, don't shoot, and he got shot, that the police officer, if I'm not mistaken, let me say if I'm saying his name correct, Darren Wilson, if I'm saying the name correct, he was a part of another police department that got shut down and completely, let me know if I'm saying the name right. If I'm saying the name right, Darren Wilson. If I'm saying it right, say let me know if I'm saying the right name that's associated with Michael Brown. That police officer, Darren Wilson, was a part of another police department that was several miles away from Ferguson. That police department got shut completely down, like it went defunct, because they were doing a lot of illegal activity. They were doing a lot of they were violating a lot of laws. Darren Wilson was a part of that police department, and he was able to leave a defunct police department and go right into Ferguson and join another police department. And he had already had a dirty record. What's up, Sosa? What's going on? Sosa? Good to see you here, brother. And we got Smith coming in. He says, get money. This is wrong. Let me see. Get money the wrong way. Get money the wrong way. So he was able to leave one police department that was shut down completely and sneak himself into another. And for the longest, you've had black activists on ground saying, hey, something's got to be done about policing in this country, in terms of the fact that a lot of police have what they call qualified immunity, which means they can do things and kind of get away with it. All right. Or they can go from one police department to another, even when they've had a bad record from another police department, and even when they've been a part of a police department that was defunct, that was broken down, out of business. So this is the big question right here that PBS NewsHour was asking. FBI warned of white supremacists in law enforcement about 10 years ago. Has anything changed? And I'm going to tell you, after you see this video tonight that I'm going to show you, you're going to know that nothing has really changed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say that. It's just the truth. Right here, this is an article from Intercept, said underrated active FBI documented. Okay? There was an FBI document that sheds new light on white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement. This is another article that came out in September 29th, 2020. This is all current information, ladies and gentlemen.
Information is power.
So let me go ahead and do this. Let me see what I can do here. Let me go ahead and do this and put that back there. So those are the articles that I wanted to put on the screen. All of you can do a Google search and you can read these various articles to get an understanding of what's going on. Now, I know that we live our life every day. We go to work. We try to be good citizens. I know there's people that would rather not hear this kind of talk because they want to feel that, well, I don't want to think about it. It's not going away. Because once again, you have to ask yourself, when you hear about particularly young black males and women being mistreated by police, you have to understand that some of these police officers that are in some of these precincts and these police departments across this country, some of them associate themselves with these type of groups. And as a result of that, we are subject to a mistreatment. Okay? Neely Fuller Jr. has talked about this, about the compensatory documents that he put together, that this system is set up. It's in everything. It's in religion. It's in sex, war, education, labor, all areas of activities that we engage in. People who believe in this type of hate and what we call white supremacy, who feel that they're better than us, it is practiced in all facets of life. It does not hide itself from anything. On a political level, this is why we really shouldn't get ourselves so bogged down and emotional over both political organizations, whether it be Republicans or Democrats, because these types of hate groups, they work on both sides of the equation. They work on the right side and the left side, conservative, Democratic, it doesn't matter. Neely Fuller Jr. says that white supremacy works on both sides of the argument to create confusion and nothing but confusion. And that's something that we need to understand how it works and how it operates. So with that said, let me go here and go straight to the video, because I don't want to keep you all night, but I want to get right to the point to the video. So let me go ahead and set this up right here. And so as I said, this video is about 8 minutes. About let me see, it's about 7 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm going to let it play. There will be only a small number of time when I will stop it and speak over it to correct a few things that is being said, to bring some more perspective to what you're seeing on the screen. So with that said, thank you everybody for being here and participating in tonight's chat room and watching wherever you are in the world. Once again, Happy New Year to you. Let me go ahead and get this queued up. And I appreciate everybody who is here tonight. So what I'm going to do, as I always do, is let's get it set up with the breaking news.
Information is power.
Minutes after 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse appeared to fatally shoot 2 people at a Black Lives Matter protest, he walked away, hands in the air, seemingly surrendering to the police. But the police let him walk by. We reviewed hundreds of incidents from around the country since protests began in May, and found that at times, police officers gave the benefit of the doubt to armed far-right groups and individuals, which...
I want to stop right there because they said in the beginning, the young lady said that it appeared as if Kyle Rittenhouse had shot 3 people dead. It didn't appear. He actually did. See, this is the thing. They don't want to call it for what it is. Yes, he did harm. I think he killed 2 people and injured 1 person, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't appear anything. He did it. Some of us who were able to see what happened over the summer, we saw the actual footage when he did the shooting. Now, they tried to make him out to be some type of guy trying to protect the community, But the reason why people were going after him is because of the fact that he had an armed gun and he was pointing the gun at people. And then before you saw what he did in the street shooting and then walking down the street trying to wave down the police, and the police saw what he did, they saw he had a gun and they still just drove by him with no problem. Before he did all of that, he actually pointed those guns at a couple of black guys that night that they've never have told you all about, that he actually was playing. They were asking him, hey man, what are you doing with that gun? And he actually cocked it on them. Okay, this is also the same guy. They want to call him a kid. No, he's a man. This is the same guy who did what he did, and he was able to drive back home that night, back to his own residency. Then he had to come back because they wanted to investigate his involvement. And then what happened? You had tons of people who put money for his defense. You even had, I think, Republicans, the Republican Party, speaking in favor to this man and what he did. And he came out there, and people were trying to stop him from walking around with that gun. And earlier that night, the police actually gave him water and the other people that he was with, and they were telling him, "Thank you guys for being out here." This was that case with Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's get back to the rest of the video. Thank you.
Can embolden vigilantes and lead to violence. Far-right armed groups have been on the rise for decades. But in 2020, they started showing up to protests in large numbers.
Take your goddamn mask off, and y'all can go play your gun more back down that way.
These groups have diverse causes, including white supremacy and opposition to the federal government. Some extremists have even threatened and been arrested for killing police officers. But we found that armed groups still sometimes got a pass from the police.
Your Mountain Dew's right here. I brought you something as well. We'll do it this way, all right?
There were nearly 8,000 Black Lives Matter protests across the country this summer. The vast majority were nonviolent, researchers say. But our analysis of visual evidence found that many were met by counter-protesters all over the United States, who were often armed. The Times reviewed news reports, social media videos, and data sets, and found that far-right groups and other individuals brought weapons to Black Lives Matter protests at least 100 times this year. Some Black Lives Matter protests turned violent. And in Portland, Oregon, an Antifa activist is suspected of killing a far-right Trump supporter. But we found that overall, most of the armed protests were on the right. While many states allow people to carry guns openly, there are laws that prohibit armed groups from intimidating people with weapons, illegally guarding property, or impersonating law enforcement or the military. Many law enforcement agencies have made efforts to curb militias and eliminate paramilitary affiliation in their ranks. But we found multiple instances where police instead took a hands-off approach to armed groups, and in extreme cases, even seemingly affiliated or coordinated with them. The most common response we saw.
Tell the truth.
I'll get back to that in just a minute. Let me say peace to Sunny Boxing Talk. Let me read what he says. He says, I have to tell you that I have saw the whole demonstration and I have it on videotape. This happened to be a case where he was really defending himself, technically the only thing. Okay, I get what you're saying, but the bottom line is this is what's missing in the equation. What was he doing out there in the first place with a gun going into another jurisdiction? He was out of his jurisdiction. He was from what I understand, he was from Illinois. He went across state lines with a weapon. Matter of fact, I think he was underage with the gun. So I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you saw a video that he was protecting himself, but the fact of the matter is he had no business over across state lines. I think he, 16, 17 years old. He had no business with that gun across lines from Illinois, getting involved in a situation that he had nothing to do with, meaning this, he's not law enforcement. So if he was attacked, as you're saying that he was defending himself, he put himself in that situation because he had no business over there in the first place. And the point I'm trying to make is that he did what he did and the police did nothing to deal with him when he was running around with that gun in his hand. Now, let's keep it 100% real.
Tell the
if
truth.
there had been a black man who came from Illinois or Chicago into Kenosha with a gun doing exactly what he did, do you think he would have been able to walk out of there that night without being harmed? Do you think he would have been able to walk around with that gun in his hand and the police see him and not arrest him or do some harm to him as they have done to black males across this country? I'm just bringing these questions up, my brother. It's all due respect to you. I'm not angry. I'm a passionate brother here. But what I'm saying to you is, do you think if that had been a group of black men that were militia? We already saw what happened to Grand J. He got they arrested him and said that he was pointing a gun at some undercover agents, or I don't know. But the point is, had that been an all-black outfit of black men out there with their guns, you think the police would have gave them water and said, oh, thank you for being here? They would have tried to do everything they can to arrest them and get those guns out of their hands. He was able to get away with not being arrested immediately, and he got the treatment that he got because he had the right complexion for the goddamn protection.
Tell the truth.
And I get it. Look, if you're being attacked, you do what you got to do to protect yourself. I totally get that. But it was none of his business to go out there in the first place. He ain't law enforcement. That was law enforcement's job, not his job. That's where I stand on that. Let's get back to the video. And thank you all for being here tonight. And let me say peace and love to brother Sonny Boxing Talk. I got nothing but love for the brother. And it's okay. Everybody can have different opinions and thoughts. That's just how I feel about it, brother Sonny Boxing Talk. And I get what you're saying, brother. I would probably love to see the footage that you got, brother. So we'll have to talk, figure out how I can get to see the footage that you're talking about, because I do find that interesting to be able to. It's always important to be able to see different perspectives as well. So I am definitely open to that, my dear brother. And thank you. And if you can, and if you haven't anybody who's new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
All right, let's get back to the rest of this footage.
Was a permissive attitude to armed groups. In Yucaipa, California, in June, a crowd of people, many of them armed and some affiliated with far-right groups, claimed to be guarding the streets. They broadcast their movements on social media.
We've got snipers on the roofs, all on these roofs. I got 120 rounds right there in case something goes on.
They falsely believed the town was under siege by Antifa activists because of disinformation spread online.
You're not from this town.
Some wore symbols from anti-government movements, like the 3%ers, as seen here. When Black Lives Matter protesters arrived, individuals from the right-wing crowd confronted them.
We live here. I live here. Hey, guys, come on. No.
The protesters were beaten.
Michael got him. Damn.
And tased.
Joe.
This is very important. I want to bring this back because you guys need to see something. And let me say to, Golden God, yes, I understand that the individuals that he shot out there were white because you had a lot of white people that sort of moved their way into this Black Lives Matter movement. And of course, you had a lot of provocateurs out there, people that were trying to create chaos to misdirect everything. I totally understand that. But my point of view is that I just got to say it straight up. Had that been a black, young, 17-year-old young man who was defending himself against 3 white people attacking him, I guarantee you it would have been a different situation. He would have been demonized. They would have tried to see if he ever used drugs, marijuana, just like they did with Trayvon Martin when they demonized him because he had a hoodie. Believe that's the reason why I'm making an issue out of it, because he's a part of this. He was a part of this video that I'm showing you now. And I'm showing that when you are of a different group, in some cases, you get the benefit of the doubt. If that had been a young 17-year-old young black male who had shot 3 people when he was involved and he came out of the state, you know darn well they would have been jumping all over him, and they would have been saying he had no business coming into this state doing what he did. And then they would have been saying, where is his father? Where is his mother? What's wrong with the black community? Just like they do when you hear about violence within in some of our communities that are not doing well economically, right? So anytime we do something, now they want to get the preacher, they want to get they want to get older people and say, hey, what's wrong with your community? And they want to, they want to tell us that we need to be accountable for our behavior and blah, blah, blah. Even when we are trying to defend ourselves, we go through that. I mean, what do you think happened to the Black Panther Party back in the 60s and 70s? They were trying to defend themselves against the police, and they were demonized. Every black group that tries to defend itself within the laws of this land, they changed everything. The Black Panther Party, when they went up to the state building in Sacramento, California, the reason why we don't have open carry in California is because of the Black Panther Party, because this is what happened. Ronald Reagan was governor of California at the time, and he didn't like the fact that they came up to the state building with their guns. But check this out. At that time, you could have your guns out. You just couldn't have a bullet in a chamber. So the Black Panther Party did that as a symbol, and their guns got taken from them. Then the guns were given back to them. Then the Black Panther Party, those that were here in the Sacramento area in California, they got in their cars to go back to Oakland, and then the police stopped them again and arrested them. Guess what? Under the laws, they had the right to do what they did. They had the right to have their guns out in that way. And they went to the state building and they changed the laws in California. You look at Michigan. They didn't like the governor in Michigan, and that militia, the white militia, went to Michigan, and they went into the chambers with their guns and everything, trying to intimidate people. You even had a sister who had to have armed black people herself to escort her into the chambers the next two few days because she feared for her life. And guess what? None of those militia members in Michigan during the summertime or the earlier months ago, when we were going through the whole, shutdown and all this lockdown type stuff, none of them got arrested, my dear brothers and sisters and everybody in the chat room. None of them got arrested, even when they got in the face of the police with no mask on, yelling and screaming at them. There's a different standard and a different standard of how they deal with us versus dealing with other people. Now, this is what I want to move back, because we've been hearing a lot of this from our politicians and all this. There's a black and brown coalition. Oh, we got some kind of coalition. I want you guys to look in here and see the people that you see in here. Look at this guy right here, right here. This is the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys have a leader right there. That guy right there, he is Latino. Okay, right there. This guy right here, I'm doing this for a reason. This guy right here is Latino. There are people that believe that the organization or this group called the Proud Boys are not a racial group. And they also push the symbolism of the 3%ers, and that is a hate type of group. That is a white supremacist group. They think because I guess the guy who's in charge of the Proud Boys is Hispanic. He lives in Florida. Let me let you guys know something that you may not know, because I deal with guys within the prison environment. I deal with all the different gangs. You have Hispanic gangs called the Southerners in California, who will align themselves with the white supremacy groups called the Aryan Brotherhood. And then you have the Northern Hispanics gangs, Norteños, who will align themselves with the black gangs or the Black Guerrilla family, only because their enemy of my enemy is my friend. Only because their enemy is the Southern Hispanics and the Aryan Brotherhood. That's the only reason why they'll deal with blacks in the prison system in California, because of the drug trade. It's over who's going to control the drugs. So you have one Hispanic gang, the Southerners from Southern California, who don't like black folks. They don't like us in particular. Okay. In LA, California right now, maybe a couple of years ago, and it's still happening now, they were throwing multi-cocktails into housing project areas in Los Angeles, California, where you had black families getting burned out of their apartments because in Mexico, there's a green light on harming black people in Los Angeles, California to drive us out of certain communities that they want to control because of the drug trade. So you have some of these Hispanic individuals, I'm not saying all, but there's some who align themselves in these sort of white supremacist type groups because they act as buffers. They act as a buffer group to project it towards us. So white supremacy is not just something that comes from just white people. You can have people, you can have black people that can push this. You can have other ethnic groups that can push this. If they see us, they deem us as inferior to them. So on this video, I want you to, I'm gonna move this back just a little bit. I want you to really look at the features of the people that's in this crowd, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And let me play this again.
I live here. Hey guys, come on, no.
The protesters were beaten
Michael got him! Damn,
and tased.
Right there.
Joel!
The guy that had the taser gun would be considered the, you know, the black and brown coalition that they say that we have. Okay? Now, I'm just bringing this out because this is what was happening during the summer. This is what's happening during those protests. And let me go back to the footage again.
A police officer was sitting in a car about 200 feet away and did not intervene.
Police right here. Ukaipa police officer right here. Ain't doing nothing.
In a statement, the Ukaipa Police Department said that it was, quote, extremely busy with calls that night, and that when officers arrived to the scene, no victims wanted to press charges. They later arrested one man who was charged with misdemeanor assault. Some officers took things a step further and seemed to openly affiliate with armed groups. Like this scene in Philadelphia in June. In one part of the city, a group of men with bats and axes confronted Black Lives Matter protesters. And in another, uniformed police officers posed for pictures with armed civilians.
Here at the Philadelphia Police, protecting the neighborhood. And yes, I have an AR-15 on me.
Now, I want to stop this because this is in Philadelphia. What you're going to see on this part of the footage, and I'm going to get back to it. Don't worry, folks. You're going to see the police officers actually taking a photo with these militia groups all hugged up. Now, the reason why I want to bring up Philadelphia, because remember the MOVE organization in Philadelphia. I don't know what is the ages of everybody in the chat room, but if you are a Generation Xer like myself, or if you are a person who you're a baby boomer, then you remember the early 80s when you had and I need someone to help me here because my memory is losing right here. Can someone name who the mayor was in Philadelphia during the time when the MOVE organization got bombed? They were a group of black people that were living their own life, right? They were living their own life. They had their own way of doing things, and they were living inside an apartment dwelling. And it was the mayor along with the police. They put a bomb on these black folks, blew their apartment building up. Many people died. I met a woman who was a part of the MOVE organization when I was in college, and I could see the burn marks all over her body, and what they did to her was horrible. Okay, how many of you remember the MOVE? Right, born 1963. Okay, so brother Marcus Love, I need your help here. Who was the name of he was a black mayor. It's a shame that a black man was a part of this. Who was the name of the mayor back in Philadelphia at that time when you had the MOVE? How many of you even remember the MOVE? Maybe I should do a separate video on the MOVE organization. Once again, this was an organization of black people who were living an alternative lifestyle. Now, when I say alternative lifestyle, I'm not talking about sexually, meaning these are black people that were into spirituality, right? Spirituality, connecting with Mother Africa, growing their own food. They didn't believe in their kids being vaccinated. You know, they believe in homeschooling their children. They were a complete community, right? You got these militia groups that form their own community, but I don't see the government or mayors or anybody or the police doing any harm to them in the way they did to the MOVE organization in Philadelphia. And it was Wilson Goody. Thank you, brother, my dear brother, Marlo's Music Channel, and anybody else who put that out there. Thank you very much. Let me give you a clap.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
That's right, Wilson Goody. And he made the decision along with the police department to harm and if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong or right, I don't think the MOVE organizations, the brothers, I don't think they had well, I think they have gun. I think they did have their own weapons and they were standing their own ground. I don't know if they had got into a shootout with the police. My mind is foggy about the details of it all. I would have to go back and do my research again. I do remember that the police and the mayor wanted them out of the building because I think someone had complained and said that the living conditions and that they didn't like the way these people were living in the housing dwelling or something like that. So they, you know, when they talk about you like that, excuse me, then they start getting the social services involved. And the social services in this country we call America, they have the biggest history of breaking up black families. So I think it has something to do about someone filing a complaint, talking about the children and this and that. And they were trying to get them out of the household. And I think the brothers and sisters that were in the MOVE were not going to comply to what the police wanted them to do or the mayor. And I think it got to a point where it was a standstill. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that members of the MOVE organization were defending themselves with guns. And eventually they put the building on fire. Had helicopters dropping stuff on the building and it caught on fire, and you had members of the MOVE organization died in the building. When have you ever heard any time in history where you had, I know you've had militias like in, I think, what was it, Waco, Texas, or in Texas, where you have situations where you have coats and stuff, you know, having a standoff. But check this out. A lot of these coats, like what you had in the, what was it, the Vinian or whatever that coat that was in Texas with the white dude, what was that damn coat? They let that man get away with all kind of stuff for God knows how long before they did any action against him. And it's right. Jim Jones was able to bring black folks to Guyana. He was able to, that's where the term "don't drink the Kool-Aid" comes from, because he put cyanide in the Kool-Aid and had them drink it. And the government knew what this man was doing, Jim Jones, and they allowed him to have all that time to the point that he killed his followers, who were brainwashed, by the way. And I had a personal friend in high school who lost damn near his whole family in that. And those people died before they actually did what they should have did, and that was neutralize Jim Jones and what he was doing in the first place. We've got Enemy Nation in the house. We got Marcus Love in the house. And thank you for that super chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this play out, and then I'm going to give the super chat celebrations to people who super chatted me. Let this video play out. So let me just move this back just a little bit. Watch how they're going to say that the police are taking photos with these people. Here we go again.
Protecting the neighborhood. And yes, I have an AR-15 on me. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
In some cases, on-duty police officers wore symbols from armed far-right movements, like here in Chicago, where footage from CBS 2 News shows an officer wearing a 3%ers mask. The Chicago Police Department says the incident is still under investigation. And in Orange County, California, an officer wore patches from the anti-government Oath Keepers movement and 3%ers. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said the symbols are prohibited and that it's conducting an internal investigation. We found other officers who posed with armed groups and people associated with anti-government organizations. In several encounters, police officers seem to have a supportive relationship with armed groups. Like in Virginia, where a police chief shook hands and shared a drink with an armed man wearing a shirt associated with the anti-government Boogaloo movement ahead of a planned protest.
Support your right to speech.
I want you to uphold the Constitution. That's what I want you to do.
We have to keep people safe.
The police chief later said he was trying to de-escalate the situation. In Michigan, one county sheriff appeared with a member of an unlawful paramilitary group who would later be charged with material support for terrorism for plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Remember that? The governor of Michigan, excuse me, folks. This sheriff was sitting up there carousing with these people, and they ended up being the guys that were involved in the plot against the governor of Michigan. Now, the reason why I'm making a big deal out of this is because they're getting away with stuff that you know darn well black folks can't get away with if we were out in the streets with our guns, fighting the cause. I mean, ask yourself, everybody in the chat room, ask yourself, why is it that the Black Panther, the original Black Panthers, why is it that that organization was neutralized? Why is it that the majority of the members, a lot of the members of the Black Panther Party are either no longer with us, they're either dead, or they're in prison with light sentences? Why is it that every organization that we've come up with that is trying to fight the power, so to speak, why have they been neutralized? Remember, J. Edgar Hoover said that he would never allow there to be a black messiah. Why is it that someone who is so loving and so caring, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they had to take him out? And of course, we know what happened. The FBI and the police in New York were plotting to use people who look just like Malcolm X to take Malcolm X out. See? So when it comes to our organizations, our groups, they have to neutralize them out of existence. Ask yourself to this very day, why is it that the Ku Klux Klan has a 503c, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly, non-profit status? That's right, folks. That's right.
Tell the truth.
Look it up. The Ku Klux Klan still exists, and they have a non-profit status. They should have been declared a hate group a long time ago. There's no way they should have a non-profit status allowed to them. There's no way that they should even still exist. They do still exist, but this is the thing. They're not wearing hoodies anymore, ladies and gentlemen. They're wearing suits. They're sheriffs, like this sheriff on this screen who's setting up there with the Boogaloo boys, trying to befriend them, and then you find out they're plotting against people, right? So they have infiltrated themselves into politics. Like I said, Nelly Fuller Jr., they've infiltrated themselves into the military, policing, education, politics. They're the sheriff, they're the police officer, they're the fire chief. They have infiltrated themselves into these systems, so they no longer have to wear a robe. They trade their robe in for police uniforms, teachers as teachers, and they've traded their robes in for suits. Remember David Duke, who actually ran for president of this country at one point in time, who was a grand wizard in the Ku Klux Klan in Louisiana? And that's the same David Duke who was supporting yours truly, Donald Trump. And Donald Trump never denounced that man in his support. Many of these white supremacist groups supported Donald Trump. That's why he said, stand back and stand down until further and I give you further instructions. So he never wanted to call these people out, but he was quick to call out anything that he associated with black. Now, say what you will about Black Lives Matter. I have my problems with Black Lives Matter because when you go to their website, there's very little about black men. It seems to be more about intersectionality and all this other stuff. But the truth of the matter is, Donald Trump was quick to call out Black Lives Matter. And then even though we know that you had people that were associated with Boogaloo Boys and all these different groups that were going out there purposely wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, breaking windows, causing chaos, being provocateurs to make you think that it was Black Lives Matter only that was doing this kind of anarchy behavior when you actually had these groups infiltrating Black Lives Matter and going out there causing problems. Let's get back to this. So let's get back to this footage right here. This sheriff, again, associating himself with these folks.
For terrorism, for plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The sheriff told the reporter that the men had the right to make a citizen's arrest.
A lot of people are angry with the governor. They want her arrested.
He later said he wasn't defending their actions. In a few instances, we found visual evidence of police officers seemingly working with armed groups, blurring the line between armed civilians and the police. During protests in Louisville, the Oath Keepers, a paramilitary group opposed to the power of the federal government, that recruits retired military and law enforcement officers, called for members from surrounding states to provide protection.
We need qualified men. We have a good number of skilled veterans already prepared, both military and law enforcement, and firefighters and etc. But we need more.
Here are the Oath Keepers documenting their operation and soliciting new recruits on YouTube.
This is Oath Keepers. We're on the ground in Louisville, Kentucky.
They explain their relationship with the police.
And as always, we coordinate closely with local law enforcement. You know, we're not in allegiance with them. We're not formally aligned. No one should lose their mind over that. But we do, of course, contact them, let them know where we're going to be, how to identify our people, and how to reach our leadership.
This type of coordination can make it unclear who's policing the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, you even have people that look like us that will push, that will be a part of it, and will think that they're doing they think they're doing God's work, or they think that they're doing I'm American, so I'm doing Americans' work. So you'll have even those that quote unquote look like us that will align themselves with into these organizations, and they will be a lot of times mascots. So you can see right here, he's a member of what looks like to be the Oath Keeper. So he's one of their black mascots, in my opinion.
Tell the truth.
Let's get back to the footage.
In September, a group of armed civilians in Oregon gathered, claiming to protect their community after disinformation spread that Antifa was starting wildfires. Here's a sheriff's deputy in Clackamas County talking to a group of armed civilians.
Trust me, I am on your side, people. I am 100%.
The deputy even suggested how they could cover up a shooting. He was placed on leave, disciplined, and later retired. Experts told us that law enforcement's sometimes lenient approach to armed groups can create an environment in which these groups believe they have the backing of the state, are subject to a different set of rules, and might even be justified taking violent action. As Americans grapple with how to push for police reform, the events
Information is power. You are listening to Information is Make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Everybody, I want to thank you for being here. I see we got my man PY2 Cap is in the house. Appreciate you being in the house, brother. It's always good to see you, brother. Cap is a veteran of the military, so he knows about this kind of stuff. He knows about these infiltrators because they've infiltrated themselves into the military as well. I'm sure he's had to deal with some of these type of individuals in his life, and I want to say peace to him. Earl Owens has come in the house. We got the guy from Texas that's in the house. Who else do we have? The guy from Texas. And let me give out some shout outs because Marcus Love gave me a super chat as well as, let me see, Marcus Love gave me a super chat, and I want to appreciate that from you, brother. Give me just 1 minute. And then there was someone else that super chatted me, and that is Smith. Darthanian Smith gave me a super chat saying, you're coming with that information, brother. And with that said, let me go right into what I do over here. And let's get you the super chat music and video coming up. Yeah.
Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself there getting buried. Dance with the devil, used to love playing those games. Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain. I made a promise to her, swore that I would change. I'm on the come up, bet I live up to my name. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep.
All right, everybody. Thank you for the super chat. And I really appreciate everybody that's here tonight, that's supporting my channel. As always, you all are great out there. That video is a hell of a thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hell of a thing. It definitely exposes everything that we already know. Like, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but it's actually good to be able to confirm when you see it visually and when you hear the reports that the things that we already know are happening is actually, you can see it and it validates how we feel, what we know has been going on for a long time. But the bigger question is, why is it happening? Why are they allowing the infiltration to take place in the first place to get to the point where it is right now? Why? I think something, I mean, that is my honest thoughts about it. And by the way, folks, it's getting awfully cold in here too. Woo! It's getting awfully cold in here tonight. Got my jacket on. I got to keep myself, you know, nice and warm because it's getting chilly. So once again, I want to say, everybody, happy holidays to you. Happy New Year to you again, and what have you. And I appreciate everybody who's come over to support the channel tonight. So let me go back into the chat room. I appreciate the super chat and the great support that everyone's giving me. Let me see. We got the guy from Texas who says, I owe you a few super chats. Hey, guy from Texas, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, because you know what I'm going to do is going right back into the production value of the program so that I can keep improving and improving. And you're going to see more improvements with what I'm doing. I'm just keeping it going over here. Do me the biggest favor, because I said I wasn't going to hold you beautiful people all night long. I know you want to get rest and you got other YouTube channels that you want to visit. But do me the biggest favor, and that is share this video in all of your social media. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Twitter, all that good stuff. And then all of you who are content creators, I know you got community tabs. Go ahead and share it in your community tabs. Some of you who have channels where you have people that follow you, share the video with them, because that's how you grow channels. If I look at your video, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna share that video in my community tab or share it in my social media, especially if you're doing something that I think is really good stuff that people need to hear, go ahead and do that, because that's how you grow channels and that's how you develop engagement. Okay, so I really thank everybody for being here. We got Rob Allbanks, who's come in the house, who I really appreciate being here, and Marcus Love as well, and Sonny Boxing Talk, brother. Thank you. Hey, Sonny Boxing Talk, brother. I appreciate you being honest about talking about the footage that you saw, that you've seen, that puts it in perspective for you. And I definitely agree with you. If someone is trying to attack you, you got whatever you have, you're going to protect yourself. I totally get that. However, me personally, it's just like what happened in Charlottesville. There was no way that I was going to take my black you-know-what and take myself to Charlottesville and get out in the middle of all that stuff that was happening in Charlottesville. No, I'm not putting myself out there like that. Not in that situation. And I'm going to be honest with you. During this past summer, you saw mostly white people out there fighting each other and battling with each other. And and this is what I said on my show long ago. Black people, if it ain't got nothing to do with us, stay your butt out of it. Get your butt off the street. Get out of it. If you got white folks fighting against each other for whatever the reasons are that they have, black people, you stay out of it. That's their fight. That's their battle to deal with. Ain't got nothing to do with us. We need to stay our butts out of it. And that's why when you saw black folks out there in Charlottesville who got hurt, my first thought was, one, I hate the fact that they got hurt. I didn't want to see anybody get hurt. But two, it ain't our fight. What you doing out there? Get out of that. Black people, our people have put enough foot to the ground. Let some other folks do some fighting and do some marching out there. Okay? That's just my opinion about it. And I truly appreciate everybody that's here tonight for coming over to the channel. Let me see what we got coming in there. Oh, Earl Owens has done it again. He's done it. He says, congrats on winning best pro black YouTube. Yeah, man, I got to give it up to the manosphere, the black manosphere streets. They really recognize me, and that's definitely I respect that a hell of a lot. So once again, I got to give them a clap.
Tell the truth.
Another thing that I need to do,
information is power,
is I need to recognize my brother Earl Owens, who just super chatted me, and here we go.
Tell them run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check, no drip, this.
All right, brother. Thank you for blessing me with the super chat. I really appreciate that tonight. Everybody. Oh, my man, Male Advice DIY is still in the house. Make sure y'all check him out. Rob Allbanks, don't think that I don't recognize you. You've been coming over and really supporting me big time and hard. Brother, don't think that I don't recognize your efforts in the chat room here. I'm charging my phone, watching on the big screen. Peace to the people. Hey, Rob Allbanks, thank you for that. Oh, and Vaughn 11, Sister 11 has just super chatted me with a super sticker, super sticker, and I love that. And so here we go again, folks. I got to do it again. Y'all showing me some love, and I really appreciate that. And here we go.
Tell them run it off. wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number 1 up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex.
Peace to you, sister. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. All of you, I really, man, I don't know what to say. Everybody has been just fantastic. This has been a fantastic night to be able to share time with you. I went on New Year's Eve and I had deleted that video because I didn't like the. I was trying to wish everybody a happy New Year's, but I was extremely tired, so my energy was very flat on that video. I ended up deleting that video, but I definitely appreciate those of you that came over for a small time when I was wishing everybody a happy New Year. I don't know what this year is going to bring, but I know we still have a lot of things that we're fighting through with this crazy virus and what they're telling us and not telling us. And now they're telling us that there's a variance, there's a whole nother mutated strain that may be more contagious than the first strand of this. I mean, this Frankenstein stuff that we're going through right now, I'm at a point, I don't know how everybody feels in the chat room. I'm at a point where I don't really know who to believe. You got the so-called experts telling you to believe what they say. You got Dr. Fauci bumping his gums. I don't really know who to believe anymore because you're getting information and then you find out that it's either wrong or it's inconsistent. Then they want to say that there's a variance to this virus in South Africa that's supposed to be worse than anything that's in Europe. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, they always associate everything with the continent of Africa with something that's bad. So we got honeybees in America. We have bees in America. But when they say, hey, the bees, the honeybees in Africa are the killing honeybee, they say it's the killer honeybees, right? So anything that's associated with the continent is always given a more potent and dangerous connotation to it. And I'm at a point when, and you have the health minister in South Africa that's saying that's not true. It's no worse. What are you guys talking about? So there's all this conflicting information on the web and all this BS that we're dealing with that I'm so sick of this virus hell that we're in. And oh, my man Mr. Mel Advice has now super chatted me. We got Kendrick in the house. Patience is in the house. Sister 11, thank you for giving me that super chat. So now I got to once again give that brother the respect that he's due. And here we go.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number 1 up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check. No drip this, tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch, tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check. No drip this, tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest.
All right, once again, thanking everyone in your great support. You all are heavily supportive of me, and I appreciate that. Now I must give some love to my main man, the underrated Darkness. He's saying what's up to Cap. I'm glad to see Cap in there, and Sunny Boxing Talk. And my man, Underrated Darkness. Once again, check these channels out. Give these brothers support. Write their names down. Go into the search engine. You'll find their channels. There's a lot of content creators in the house. Sunny Boxing Talk. Check him out if you like boxing talk. And we got my man, Enemy Nation. Check out Enemy Nation and check out what he's about. And he's a brother that subscribed to me recently, and I went over and subscribed to his channel because I believe in supporting people who support me as well. That's what it's all about. You know, and sometimes you might have a difference of opinion. You may have a different political view than other people, but I'll give people a chance to see what their thoughts are. Anything I agree with, I agree with. Anything that I don't agree with, I just don't agree with. Simple as that. But I'm not going to demonize anybody at the same time. You know, everybody has their lane that they're in. I'm just one of those people. I'm more of an independent type of thinking guy when it comes to political stuff because I think both of these parties, they screw us. You guys always hear me say this. The Democrats screw you with Vaseline and the Republicans screw you without Vaseline. But in the end, you get screwed in the end and left for that. We're already seeing this with Joe Biden and Joe Biden, the way he talked to those so-called black leaders. He talked to them like they were on a slave plantation. And then the only reason why we knew about that little Zoom call, and I did a video on this weeks and weeks ago, is because somebody leaked it. And I wish I knew who actually leaked that Zoom call to see what had happened. And then when we look at a brother like Ice Cube and how Ice Cube, we had our own people that were criticizing Ice Cube when he said, look, I'm making a plan for black people, a contract with Black America, and whichever one of these political groups that wins the White House, we got to put a demand on a black agenda for what we need. And that's all Ice Cube was trying to do. And of course, he took criticism from Democrats, and he took criticism from, from those in the black community and the political fear who thought that he was out of his depth because he's just a rapper. But yet, you know what's funny about it? None of our politicians and none of our so-called intelligents or none of our so-called black congressional black caucus, none of them came up with a plan like what he came up with. So we should be asking the bigger question. Ice Cube is an entertainer, but yet the people that we vote into office, such as these senators and Congress people, in particular black politicians who we have supported, even though a lot of them be buck dancing, isn't it interesting how they're the politicians who should be coming up with these plans, but they never did, and yet someone like Ice Cube, remember him in NWA? Someone like Ice Cube, he, my man, he's the one that comes up with a plan that they should have come up with. See? So I want to thank everybody for being here. And let me say again to God's chosen vessels, Gwen, please, please, everybody, do me the biggest favor. Give her some support. Subscribe to her channel. She's a beautiful sister, a spiritual sister. If you go over there, you're going to go over there feeling good because, unlike myself, I do a lot of polarizing type of content, stuff that's going to get you angry sometimes or some stuff that you may not want to hear sometimes. But if you go over to Gwen's channel, you're going to get the Spirit of God in you. She's going to be inspirational. She's going to get you upbeat and inspiration. Not that I can't be inspirational because I do material where I am into inspirational talk, and I do have content where I'm going to be talking about some more positive things as it relates to us and our people and some of the successful things that we've been able to accomplish. But check her out. She's a wonderful, wonderful sister. She's going to bed, and I'm glad that she came over. I'm about to end this so everybody can go do what they need to do. Kendrick, my brother Kendrick. Kendrick is a brother in the chat room and give him some kudos. He's a brother that sends me messages on Instagram. He inbox me. He'll send me videos of other YouTubers that I should check out. He'll send me information, all sorts of things. He's a really good brother, and he's a big supporter of the program as well. And I want to give him a clap for that, and I appreciate that, brother.
Information is power.
I actually appreciate everybody that's in the chat room overall 100%, because you all been rocking with me. You've seen me progress and grow the channel step at a time, and we're just going to keep doing this and doing this. And I want to say shout out to all the other content creators on YouTube, because I know a lot of you follow many other content creators. And so YouTube, you know, we need to make YouTube, even though we talk about these serious issues like that, we still need to make YouTube fun. We still need to have a good time and enjoy ourselves as well, because you don't know when the next day is your last day. I mean, it blew me away. How many of you remember the brother from Breaking, Shavadu? He was 65 years old. I can't believe that he passed away. I mean, and then we had the brother from Next Fridays, Debo. That brother passed away. Isn't it a trip how when people pass away, they always go in 3s and 4s, right? And then we lost my man Ecstasy from Houdini. Remember Houdini? One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one love. I'm trying out my singing. But we had Houdini. That brother passed away in his 50s. Shavadu is dear to my heart too, because back in the early 80s, 83 and 84, yours truly, I was a break dancer in a pop locker. You know, I used to do all that stuff. Egyptian Lover, I was into that. I was break dancing, pop locking, strutting. I was doing my thing back in 84. Of course, I was about 15 years old, 14. So I was a young cat, spinning on my hips, doing the gyros, doing all that break dancing. So I loved movies like Breaking 1 and Breaking 2 and Beat Street and all that kind of stuff. I grew up on that type of hip hop where you had the dance, you had the music, and you had the graffiti art. To me, this is just me. That to me was the best era of hip hop music before it became super commercial. That was the most purest era of hip hop. You're not going to hear many people tell you that. A lot of people are going to say, well, the 90s was the best, or the music today is the best, all this mumbo jumbo rap. No. That was the best era of rap music, because that was the origins of rap music. That was the era that got us to where we are today for it to become commercial. When you talk about Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, the music that was coming out of the Bronx and the New York back in the late 70s into the early 80s, when you talk about hip hop culture, that is hip hop. That is true hip hop culture. It's the music, it's the dance, it's the graffiti art, and it's the clothing that we wore. Remember the big shoestrings and the Kango hats? That was hip hop at its purest level. The hip hop today is not at its purest level. They might have taken it to a different level with all the musical synthesizing and different sounds, but to me, that was the best era. That was the era of Run DMC, the Fat Boys, all of that rich music. You had LL Cool J, the X-Clan. Remember, during the 90s, you had coming right behind all of them, then you had Public Enemy. So those groups, to me, are classics. And that form of rap music was the most purest, in my opinion. I know I'm getting off a subject, but I just had to say that because Shavadu passed away. And when I think about that brother, it goes back to my childhood. And remember, he used to be on Soul Train, and there was a pop locking group in Soul Train. And he was a part of that group. They were strutting. And a lot of people don't notice that a lot of that strutting and the pop locking, that comes from the West Coast, baby. LA, the Bay Area. That's where it originated itself. Now, breakdancing, I give New York breakdancing. But that pop locking and strutting, that's a West Coast thing. That was a West Coast thing that we created and put in the oven, and we baked it up, gave it to you to eat and enjoy. So peace to everybody. We got Vaughn 11 in the house, the guy from Texas in the house. We got Patience is in the house. I love your sister for being here, Earl Owens. We got my man, the Ghost. Brother, it's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I know you said that you're getting ready to transition yourself to the motherland. You're getting the hell out of you're getting the mess out of America. But thank you for coming on over and joining me. We got FIFA World Game who's in the house. Thank you for coming over and joining the channel tonight. And peace to everybody. I'm gonna get on out of here. And Ghost, it's good to see you, brother. We gotta catch up. And I need to see how you doing, brother. It's good to see you over here. And we got let me see, Mr. I'm bad with names. Mr. Pyratron or something like that. He said the mid 70s to the 80 to 85 was the best era for music, period, hip hop and rock. Okay, yeah. The music was, I mean, I got to be honest, that music that came out of that era was something else. Because I think the music was more organic before they start synthesizing everything. I appreciate organic music, and I'm going to tell you why. Many of you don't know this. Some of you may know this, but notice, I played the violin since I was 10 years old. Played all the way from 10 years old to 27 years old. I was going to play in college, and I got to a point where I got a little burned out because during my teens, I was heavily into playing the music and being in orchestra, and then I was playing basketball. I was doing a lot in my teens. And then when I got into college, I just kind of fade away from playing. But I played the classic music. I played the, jazz violin and all that sort of stuff, jazz violin. And so I actually can read music and all that good stuff. So I have a certain appreciation for classical type music, for the classics, and for that organic sound of the instruments playing. Not some machine where somebody pushing buttons on some drum machine. No, real people playing real drums, real sound, real organic sounds. That's where it's at. So with that said, let me get on out of here. Everybody have a good night. Make sure you share the video. Peace. I'll be back live again very soon. And I thank you all for rocking with me for this period of time. Take care, everybody. Peace to you.
Information is power.
Take me in your arms, do just what you want. You're the one I trust. I belong to you. And I'll always be around when I need some loving, baby. And I'll never let you down. Let you down. I'm your song, and you're playing all my melodies. There's no one else, 'cause baby, we got chemistry. You give me feelings that I never knew. This heart of mine will always and forever belong to you. You and me were meant to be as one. The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts. Maybe it was written in the stars. Written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You, me. Take me to your heart. Take me to your soul. Never drawn apart. 'Cause I belong to you.
Tell the truth.
Be my guiding star. 'Cause I need your loving, baby. And never let me down. Let me down. I'm your song, and you're playing all my melodies. There's no one else, 'cause baby, we got chemistry. You gave me feelings that I never knew. This heart of mine will always and forever belong to you. You and me.
forever, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You and me, written in the stars. Hey baby, do you believe me when I say I miss you so? It seems like your mind is elsewhere whenever we're on the phone. Always on the go, like you got a place to be, never on your own. Something you're not telling me, yeah. I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. Hey cheater, do you feel better now that you've broken my trust? Oh, boy, do you even remember that love is more than just lust? Always on the go, like you got a place to be, never on your own. Something you're not telling me, yeah. I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. I've had enough of you. You're just too much. I'm way too good for you. You're just enough. I'm so fed up with you. It's bad enough that I'm way too good for you. You, I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you.
Got issues, hate you then I miss you again. Selfish, I can be so selfish. Spend more time when meeting your friends. Please forgive my attitude. I want my cake and eat it too. But a little grace would be enough for me to prove. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me, yeah. I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you, with you. I be holding grudges, can't let go of any mistakes. Distant, sometimes I get distant. Stay away as long as it takes. Forgive my attitude. I need my cake and eat it too. But a little time will be enough of being human. Can you weather the storm? I'm starting to believe you can, 'cause baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I could finally see it, bringing out the best in me, yeah. I don't want these problems, I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.